Hey everyone, and welcome to a very long overdue Class 66 Rocks layout update. Now, the last update I did on the layout was, I think, back in July 2018, so it has been a really long time since I last showed any progress on the layout. So this update is going to be focusing on what we've sort of been doing since the last update up to the present day. Obviously with the restrictions that we've had in place over 2020, it'll focus on sort of what we've been doing during that time. So I'll get you up to speed on where we're at. Okay, so let's make a start on this update then. So obviously, as you remember, up that end of the layout up there, we haven't quite finished that yet. We've just got a bit of scenery and electronics to work on up there. So that was going to be based on a Devon era layout, if you remember from previous updates. So then we moved on to this area just here, which is the Viaduct area. Now I'm sure I've already shown this, but I'm going to just show it again. So as you can see, we've got the viaduct in place with a small canal running underneath. We've got to get some boats for this actually. We haven't got round to doing that yet. As you can see there, we've got a Batman 4MT on the line. Obviously this is all been ballasted as well. And we've got a tunnel mouth just there. So underneath there, now I haven't got a light to actually show you. There is an avoiding line which will be running into another section of the layout at the other end of the loft, which we'll get to shortly. So moving across, as you can see, we have installed a castle area. Now I'm sure in the last update I did, and there wasn't a castle area, it was just plain grass, which is just this bit just here. So this is the Hornby Scaledale range. We've got the folly, the castle walls. As you can see, we've worked on the scenery around there as well, and we've also got the trees put in place, as well as another Hornby Scaledale building just at the back there. Now we are going to be putting some lights in that building, and I think the plan is getting some grain of rice LED bulbs and just lighting around the castle area, but we haven't got that far just at the moment. But that is going to be one of the things we're going to be doing as part of the scenery once we're up to speed with it. Okay, so obviously that's sort of where the last update ended. So this update is going to focus on all this half of the layout now. So this half of the layout wasn't even constructed. I think the baseboards are in place, but that was about it in the last update. So over the past year, or longer, should I say, we have actually literally completed the Scottish half of the layout. So I'm just going to run through this and explain it all. Okay, so starting at this end, we've got the signal box just there. Now this is obviously going to be based off a Scottish region layout. So it runs from the Devon one up there, it comes over the viaduct, under the tunnel mouth and into the Scottish layout. As you can see, we've got a rock face installed as part of the scenery there, and we also have the Batman cement works. Now this building here was kit built from scratch. So these ones up at the back here, if you remember from our previous address when I was at the old house, that's the Batman cement works that you saw in the layout running videos. So they've all been repainted to give them more of a cement works look to them. And we've also got a little porter cabin there, and there's a little weighbridge just tucked up at the back. Now this one I think is going to be like a blue circle cement works. As you can see, we've got the Foden S21s there. We've got a workman just at the back there. And if I move the camcorder across, you can see we've got another blue circle trailer there, and a very old Seddon, I think it is, Pollux. So we're going to have these trucks here, or some trucks anyway, and they'll come off the main line and they'll run into this siding area just here, where these press flow hoppers are. So I'll just show you this angle. So they'll run in one entrance of the loading area and they'll come out at the other. Now these are going to be brought in with a shunter engine. I think we've got a Batman class 3 or class 4 on the storage area that we're going to be using for that. So moving along now, again we've got a rock face at the back with some trees as part of the scenic range. We've also put in place a Metcalfe pub at the back there. Now with the pub, I'm just going to explain how that works now before we move further up here again. So obviously we've got people going in for a pint or a meal, etc. So when they come out of the pub, there's obviously, as you can probably see, there's some sand rather, just outside the pub. So there's a path here. This will run down this little slope here and into like a sort of sandy beach area. Now we haven't got the water put in yet, but eventually it will be like a little seaside sort of scenario. So there'll be a bit of sand just around this area and then the rest of it will be sort of water. Now we are going to be putting a lock as well, so I'll just swing the camcorder around this other way so you can see what scenery we've been working on as part of the Scottish layout. So we've got rock faces, we've got trees. So if we move down here, this is going to be the lock area. So we've got some little anchor points just there. We are going to be getting a trawler of some description, either a Batman one or a kit built one, and that's going to be placed in here. And again, obviously we're going to have like some water in here. We're thinking Woodland Scenics at the minute because they do something like that as part of a kit. Or there's varnish as well, but we'll see once we get there. So moving up now, as you can see, we've got the platforms installed as part of the Scottish station scene. These obviously aren't quite finished just yet. They've got to have a building and some people put on because it seems a very quiet station at the moment. But this is going to be a dead end station, hence why it's ending both lines just at the end there. So as you can see on this rig, we've got some Batman Maroon Mark 1 coaches and also a Batman Class 37 in British Railways green. Now the lines have been tested, they're not fully wired up yet, so we will be doing that. We've got to get a power booster actually. So I'm watching a Batman one on eBay. I think it's about £145, so that'll give some extra power to both ends of both layouts, because I think on the current supply, if we wire it without a power booster, I don't think we'll get good connectivity. So the plan is to get a power booster installed as well. So as you can see, we've got a freight rake just here. That's connected to a train that's under the tunnel mouth. Moving back along here now, we've got an area which is going to be like a cattle dock. That's going to be put in place as well. We've got a small coal yard just here, which again we're going to have some wagons to finish that off. We're going to have a shed here somewhere, which is going to be like coming through off the platform and it'll come down here into the cattle dock area. Obviously things might change yet, so once we get to this point in time, then I will be obviously doing another video showing how it will all work. And like I said, we have been doing this over the past year or so, just making a start on it and getting it to somewhere where we need it to be. We've also got the sky paper installed at the back and all the way round into this curve as well. So the next thing I'm going to show, it's not very tidy at the moment, it's got quite a lot of stuff on it actually, is this back area just here. So I'm just going to stand here and explain it. We've got a lamp there that we're going to be using to sort of light this area up. This is going to be a modern day layout. So this is going to have a diesel depot. I'm still not sure which to base it off, whether to base it off Basford Hall Sidings and Crewe, which is more of a local freight yard to where I live, or have like an American themed one. I'm still undecided on that. So when I get to that point of deciding what I'm going to do, then that will be mentioned in a video. We've also extended the baseboards all the way around the back and down here. Now this is going to obviously all link up eventually to the relevant parts of the layout, but like I say, once we get to that, then I will explain it a lot more in detail. Underneath here, if I just lift this paper up, I've installed another locomotive storage area. So all the modern day locos have now been moved here for the time being. Which ones are those? Yeah, so I've got some modern ones just under there, but the plan is eventually the locos that are going to be running on the Scottish layout, they're going to be coming on here. So we've got some green era diesels, we might be getting some blue era ones as well, so they'll move to there. Then the modern ones will move further up towards that end of the layout up there. But obviously when we get some lighting in place and make a start on it, then I'll do the update and probably show you the storage area that's up there as well. So on about the avoiding line actually, so the avoiding line is going to come out just there. So it runs at the back of the baseboard, right behind the sky scene, and it comes out, like I mentioned, just all the way up here. So like I say, underneath that tunnel just there, there's an avoiding line under there, which is operated by the point. The loco comes across this line here and then goes off around the avoiding line and towards the other end of the loft. Now we've also got these point switches installed. These are manually controlled because it saved quite a lot of money compared to digital point motors. So I'm just going to show you how this works. So focusing on that point just there, so I'll just zoom in just so you can see that. So if I pull the switch now, you can see the point moves. I push it back in and it locks it back into place again. Now that's like a wire and tube effect that we've done for that. And we've also done it up here as well. So we've got one just here. We've got another one here. So I'll just show you this where there's a bit more light. So if I pull it out, so I'll just show you the position it's in now. So as you can see, it's like that. So if I pull this out now, it clicks across, I push it in, it goes back. So I'll just show you down here what I'm doing. So pull out, push in. So that's how the points are going to work as well. So that is basically the layout update up to press. Once we start working on the rest of the layout, then again I will do another update. But I hope I've made this update informative obviously in regards to where we're up to now. I do apologise for the lack of layout updates. I can't believe it was actually July 2018 when the last one was filmed. So apologies for that. So that is it basically. The Class 66 Rocks layout update for November 2020.